So I've been seeing this online quite a bit, and I had not wanted to click on any video about it because it was kind of a drag, kind of a downer of a news story. But today I decided to click on it and take a look. I'll give you the facts of what the news story says, and then we'll discuss it a little bit more. 27-year-old Charles Smith in Arizona is a TikTok content creator who allegedly filmed himself stealing bug spray from Walmart, then proceeding to spray it not only on produce, but rotisserie chickens as well. Allegedly. He is a self-proclaimed troll, and his monthly income from social media alone is $6,000 to $10,000 for doing pranks such as this. He allegedly only tried to reverse his actions when about 10 minutes after he filmed himself doing this, his audience started to call him out. And by reversing his actions, he took some of the produce that he allegedly sprayed with a bug poison and put it into a shopping cart and then wheeled the shopping cart to the back of the store. Walmart ended up having to throw away about $930 worth of food, and it's unclear as to whether or not any customers took home the contaminated food. Now, while homesteading is not for everybody, and that's okay, I think growing your own food is one of those things that is for everybody. And I'm very careful. If you've watched my previous videos, I'm very careful to not say somebody should do this or somebody should do that, because really there's not a one size fits all for almost anything. There are some topics I'm very black and white about. Really, in all of homesteading, it's a big gray area. So homesteading on a farm in the country, I think it's the best choice, which is why I'm doing it. But I don't think that everybody has to, and I am fine if other people don't. And I'm not saying that you should grow your own food, because there are crazy people who will spray bug spray on produce and rotisserie chickens. The majority of people are there to buy food and go home and eat, not to wreak havoc for money. However, this does exist. Do you remember when people, at least in America, were doing some kind of weird challenge in which they'd go to the ice cream, take off one of the lids, open it, and lick the ice cream, and then put the lid on and put it back? There was another lady who was leaving her panties in supermarket refrigerated sections. I'm not talking granny panties that are loose to the area. I'm talking these were up in crevices and creases and places that you do not want to then remove and place on top of food. That is disgusting. Not anti-fancy panties, but I am anti-fancy panties on top of my yogurt and butter. Ugh. The fact that the bug spray guy tried to reverse his behavior only after getting called out by his audience tells me that if he had been positively affirmed, he would have not only been secure in his actions, but probably egged on to do more in order to get the acknowledgement and the money. But bringing this back to why I would like to encourage you to try growing your own food is not just because it gives you more control over what you're putting in your body. Okay, hypocrite alert, I do eat McDonald's occasionally, and last time I did it, it was amazing. But the time before that, I didn't feel good. So I'm not a purist. I think that purists are awesome. Go for it. I also like a good French fry, but it gives you more control over the majority of what you put into your mouth. And when issues like ports closing or strikes happening or pandemics or supply chain interruptions, whatever, it gives you a little bit more security. Now, can you grow all of your food in an apartment? Probably not. There are many things you can do with grow lights, but you have to get creative. And maybe you have some kind of a co-op with another group or another family, or maybe some kind of urban location where the community comes together and does some kind of a project where you all farm together. Those things exist and those are all great, but you have to get something that works for you. And again, not for fear that somebody is gonna lick your ice cream, put their panties on your yogurt, or spray bug poison on your chicken and your produce. But that is also a really good incentive to say, hey, you know what? Life is crazy. Some things are out of my control. Some things are unpredictable. I wouldn't have predicted that some money-hungry, greedy nut would start poisoning people, allegedly, but it happens. And social media is an accelerant to this kind of behavior. It's revealing to the rest of us their character and their heart, and you gotta be able to understand that there are people who are not like us, and they do not have your best interests at heart. They will take what you feed to your children, what you give to your elderly parents, or to yourself, and they will poison it for money and clout. Not everybody. This is not a rampant, crazy epidemic of people misbehaving. It's a small select amount of people who have a big platform, a big voice, because those are the ones who get all of the attention online. But it only takes one bad example in order to show us what humanity can be capable of. While I do not think we should start growing our own food or homesteading because of anxiety and fear, I think those things, being smart and wise about the reality of the world and our society, taking those things and applying that as a motivating force to move forward with being more self-reliant is very healthy and very good. Start small. Start with a manageable thing that you already eat. Don't go for some exotic passion fruit, dragon fruit, pineapples. Don't go for something that maybe you don't eat that much, unless you have some kind of raging disease and enjoy pineapple on your pizza. But go for something that you eat regularly. Sorry. Shots fired against the pineapple on their pizza people. I'm sorry, I don't do it. I can't do it. My husband loves it. That's why I say it. Keep the pineapple off of my pizza. It doesn't belong there. Anyway, start with what you already eat. Start small. Start with one thing. I'm not saying you have to bake your own bread from scratch using the wheat you've harvested yourself. But what I am saying is that it behooves you and behooves all of us to try to start having a little bit more control over the things that we consume. Really, that's no more out there and crazy than to say you should have some savings in an account or even in your house in cash, just in case an emergency happens. We don't call those people conspiracy theorists and crazy. The same thing, growing your own food is that extra little emergency fund, that security blanket that you are able to use to provide for yourself. So I wanted to share that story with you today and to say this is another reason why we homestead, why we are trying to grow our own food. If I can do it, you can do it. You're gonna do great. Try it and see how you like it.